Thank you, Whip. Well, the Democrat Party proved last week that they have absolutely no respect for their own voters. They literally jettisoned throughout the votes of 14 million Democrats who went to the polls to select Joe Biden as their nominee and went behind closed doors where party bosses pulled the will of their voters and replaced Joe Biden with Kamala Harris. Now, it begs the question, let's look at Kamala Harris's record as vice president. She's still the sitting vice president, but she's also been the architect of many of President Biden's worst failures, not the least of which is her main responsibility that she's been given in 3.5 years, that is the job of border czar. When President Biden tapped her to be the border czar, it took her months to even get out to the border. She said many times that the border is secure. Everybody in America knows that's a lie. In fact, it's the largest crisis in America, affecting every community throughout this country, with drugs, with opioids that are killing about 150 Americans every day, bringing in criminals to every community in America. And Kamala Harris has been responsible for this epic failure. In fact, she's called for open borders. What else has she called for? Good luck if she goes to Pennsylvania and talks about her energy policies where she wants to ban fracking. She has been against American energy her whole career, while allowing foreign countries like Russia and Iran to put billions of dollars into their pockets selling their energy around the world while crushing American energy and the jobs that go with it here at home. We all know what Kamala Harris did raising money for the Minnesota Freedom Fund when radicals were out protesting and ultimately getting arrested, attacking cops, doing other things. She's shown disdain over and over again, saying we need to rethink policing, embracing the defund police movement. That's Kamala Harris's record. She is far to the left of Joe Biden, and we know the failures of the Biden-Harris administration all too well. That's going to be a problem they're going to continue to have. They hold nobody accountable for their failures, and unfortunately the American people are the ones who pay the price. We laid out a really strong alternative at our convention in Milwaukee. I was proud to be there with our other leaders here, and what we saw is an incredibly unified Republican Party with a clear and focused agenda. President Trump laid it out himself, as did all the other speakers, talking about what we will do to help those families who are struggling under the weight of this radical Biden-Harris administration that's led to record inflation, higher costs at the grocery store, at the gas station, discord all around the world. Kamala Harris couldn't even find the time to go greet Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday when he arrived in the United States. And in fact, Vice President Harris is boycotting tomorrow's speech by Prime Minister Netanyahu. That's disgraceful. Why will she not come and show support for our greatest ally in the Middle East while they're at war from terrorist organizations funded by Iran? These are the kind of questions that they're going to have to answer. And finally, when you watched that hearing yesterday with Secret Service Director Cheadle, I think everybody in America knows she's not up to the job. And it's an important job. It's a job where the main mission is to protect presidents and former presidents in the United States with a zero-fail mission, as Mr. Langworthy talked about. And not only did she fail, but she actually lied to us and the American people multiple times just in the last 10 days. We had been hearing for months that President Trump's team was denied additional Secret Service protection that they had asked for. And what did we hear from the Secret Service director? A vehement pushback. They said, no, that's not true. For days they said it wasn't true. They didn't just ignore what we were saying. They actually said it wasn't true. And then the day before, Director Cheadle comes before the Oversight Committee where she has to testify at the threat of perjury. They all of a sudden leak out the truth. And that is that, yes, in fact, the Secret Service Director Cheadle did deny the Trump team additional Secret Service protection. Why did she lie to the American people and members of Congress for about a week about such an important detail? She talked about the inability to protect the roof where the shooter positioned himself. She said it was too high of a pitch. And then yesterday you had Carlos Jimenez, a colleague of ours, 70 years old, on the roof just walking around saying, look at this. This is not difficult to maneuver. She lied about that, too. She has no credibility to the point where literally Republicans and Democrats are united calling on her to step down. This is not an entitlement position she has. She works for the American people, and she failed in her mission. Joe Biden needs to remove her if she doesn't have the self-respect to step down. And we're going to continue to push for that as well. Now I'd like to bring up the man who's leading our charge, and that is Speaker Mike Johnson.